And at the sound of the bell, let that start to invite you to get more settled in your body and in your breath for the beginning of our class today. Taking a deep cleansing breath as you hear the bell. This is called Prayer of Joy from the book This Grateful Heart by Alden Solovey. God, thank you for joy and delight, for wonder and awe, for moments of gladness and celebration. Grant me the ability to breathe gentleness into my hours and seasons so that I live awake to beauty, to holiness, to the radiance that surrounds us. Grant me the wisdom to arrive each day with passion and humor, with song and dance, with smiling eyes, in service to myself, in service to others, in service to your holy name. Moda ani lefanecha Melechai v'kayam, shechazarta binishmati, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha. I offer thanks to you, Adonai, ever-living sovereign, that you have returned my soul to me. In mercy, how great is your trust. In mercy, how great is your trust. Noticing the quality of your breathing in this moment. As you breathe in through the nose, filling the lungs, notice what parts of your body move and expand to allow that air in. And as you exhale, pressing all of the air out of your lungs, empty completely. Create space for the next in-breath. Let each breath call you home to your body, to what is true for you in this moment, to how you're feeling, to what's going on. And take a moment to bring your hands to your heart and to create your own kavanah, your own intention for this time, this morning together. Good. Let's stay seated. You can come off of the block if you're on one. And we'll do some side bending. So notice which leg is in front as you sit. And bring your right hand to the floor and lift your left arm up. And just reach up and shrug your shoulder into your ear and then drop it down so that your shoulders in that socket, in that shoulder girdle. Pull your navel in. And then keeping that reaching quality, you're going to just lean over, and pardon the sound of the gardeners, I'm sure they'll be gone soon. Pull the navel in and reach diagonally, like you're reaching for a star. Just reach for that star and rotate your waist and chest forward so that your heart shines forward a little bit more. Good. And then bring your hand down and lift the other hand. So shrug that shoulder into the ear and then place it back down. Just nestle it into the shoulder girdle. Pull the navel in and keeping the length, just a little diagonal lean, just getting into the rib cage. Reaching for that star and then rotating the chest and heart and waist a little more forward, maybe even a little more to the sky. And breath here. Good, and bring your hands down. Now do some shoulder circles. Notice what's going on in there, both directions. Good. Bring your hands to your shoulders and keeping your sits bones right where they are and the belly pulled in, just rotate. Just turn to one side as far as your body will let you go. And then through the center and to the other side. And just notice your range of motion with your rotation this morning. I like to breathe in as I twist. Breathe out as you come to center. Breathe in as you twist. Breathe out to center. Do that a couple more times. Good, and then keep your hands on your shoulders, but do circles. Big circles one way, and then the other. Good. And then shake out your arms. We're gonna stretch the forearms, the forearms and flexors and extensors of the wrist. So take your palm facing out, grab your fingertips, and just press your palm forward. Reach your thumb out to the side, and get right into that inner forearm. Breathe. And now make a soft fist and roll your fist out to the side. So now the forearm, the top of the forearm is pointed down, and my fist, the fingers of my fist are pointed up. And so the shoulder wants to come up when we do this. So see if you can drop the shoulder down and just do some turning of the fist just to get into the top of the forearm. Good, and then shake it out, and we'll do the other side. So palm faces forward, grab those fingertips, press them back toward you, reach your thumb out to the side, get a nice little stretch in there, get into those muscles that we use for all of our keyboarding and texting and typing. And then make your soft fist and roll the fist out to the side, dropping the shoulder away from the ear. And then you can start to do a little turning of that arm and feel a stretch right across the top of that forearm probably. Good, and then shake it out. Shake both hands out, and we'll come to our backs and bring your strap with you. First, and make sure your block is nearby too. So first we're just gonna hug the knees into the chest and warm up and say good morning to the lower back. Rocking from side to side. Keep your hands on your knees and start to press the knees away from the body while you straighten your arms, and then pull the knees back in, just drawing little circles, going both directions. Good. Bring your feet to the floor. Just a few pelvic tilts here, so keeping your feet close to your buns, hands on your frontal hip bones. Just start to arch your lower back and then tuck your tailbone. And you're going to keep your buttocks on the floor And the movement is all in, feel that pelvis moving forward and back like a little rocking horse. Just saying good morning to these deep lower hip and back muscles. Breathing in as you arch, breathing out as you tuck, and a little bit of an activation of the core as you tuck. So as you tuck your tailbone underneath you, feel your core actually tighten as if you're preparing to do a little abdominal crunch. And then inhale, release, and exhale. Good. So bring your hands to the floor next to you now and start to tilt your pelvis up, pressing into your feet, and just lift your hips into a little bridge. Just a little bridge for now. Activating the inner thighs. So you want to imagine that you have a block between the inner thighs and squeeze those muscles together. Try not to squeeze your butt super hard. Try to keep the work in your quadriceps here and then press into your feet. Breathe. And then lower everything down. Again, pressing into the feet. Inhale, lift up. Squeeze your imaginary block. Maybe this time the arms will come up overhead for a nice big front body stretch. And then exhale, lower everything back down. You can leave the arms out of it or you can include them, whatever you prefer. We're going to do that 2 more times. We're going to inhale, lifting the hips. And exhale, lower down. And 1 more time. Inhale, lift the hips. Maybe the arms come up too. And now hold your bridge, press into your feet, and then lower everything down. Good. We're going to hug the knees into the chest again. This time keep the knees out to the side so you're getting into the inner thighs. Let's do some ankle rotations, just waking up those muscles to help with our balance. Point and flex those toes. Good. And now bring your feet back to the floor and walk the feet to the outer edges of your mat and lean your knees in toward each other. Take a few breaths here. As you rest here, just work with your neck range of motion. So just turning your gaze over your left shoulder, going as far as you can. And then looking straight ahead and then turning the head to look over the right shoulder. So what do you notice here? How is your neck range of motion? Is it equal on both sides? Is one side tighter than the other? And just paying attention to that so that when we do the neck massage with the ball, you can give extra attention to where it's needed. Good. Come back to center. We're going to, you can keep your arms out to the sides in a T or lift them overhead, whatever feels better for you. But we're going to keep the feet where they are and drop the knees over to the left. So the soles of the feet will come off the floor, but the placement of the feet will stay where they are. And you're going to feel a nice stretch in that oblique and psoas muscle of the right side. Breathe here, pressing down with your right knee. And then bring the knees back up. Exhaling, inhaling as you bring the knees over to the right, really pressing down with the left knee. Keep breathing and slowly go from side to side. You can take an extra breath or 2 on each side if you'd like to, if you're feeling particularly tight through that lower abdominal area or hip flexor. Good. Last round. Let's do 1 more on each side. So it's always good to get into those hip flexors or psoas muscles, because when they're extra tight, they make our lower back curve and round. and then it creates tightness in the lower back and discomfort. So we want to keep, sometimes we feel pain in the back, but the imbalance is in the front. So that's what the beauty of yoga is we work both sides and bring some balance back to the body. Go ahead and walk your feet back in toward each other. And we'll take our strap now. And let's start with the strap around the bottom of the left foot. Let the back of your arms rest on the floor, maybe wrapping the strap around your hands. And flexing the left foot. So feeling the back of the left leg, noticing where you feel tight. You can keep that right knee bent if you want, or you can extend it. Just what is feeling the best for you today. So keeping the foot flexed, draw little circles on the ceiling or in the sky if you're outdoors. Little tiny circles, maybe the size of like a saucer for a teacup. Really slow. And then reverse your little mini circles. And then pause at the center. And I'd like you to hold the straps and imagine you're trying to press your heel down toward the floor. So you're going to activate your leg, your hamstring, and lead with your heel and start to press it toward the floor, but don't let your leg go anywhere. So doing this little isometric activation of the back of the leg for 3, 2, 1, and then release that effort and let the straps guide your leg closer to your body if they'll let you do that, if those muscles will let you do that. Find your starting position, flex your foot again, and now again press the heel toward the floor as if you're trying to lower that heel, but don't let it go anywhere. Activating that whole back of the leg for 3, 2, 1, and then release your effort. Maybe your leg will come a little closer toward your head, maybe not. It's totally fine. We're going to do one more, really pressing into that strap, trying to drag it down toward the floor for 3, 2, 1, and then release your effort. Pause at your edge of your range of motion. And now take your straps in your left hand and keeping your right hip rooted into that floor, you're going to open your leg out to the side as far as it will go without letting that right hip roll off the floor. Good, and breathe. Always good to work the lower body when we've been very cerebral or in our heads or thinking a lot. The first thing we do is usually leave our bodies. So working with the lower body really gets us grounded again. Pull your belly in, bend that left knee just a little bit and bring it back to center. And then take your strap off and just lie flat. And notice the difference between the right and left leg. Sometimes I notice that the body part I didn't do yet feels a little bit like a dry sponge, like kind of, you know, those dry sponges in your sink that are all kind of disfigured. They just need some moisture to get their shape back. That's how my muscles feel when I haven't done that side. So let's bring some suppleness back to the other side. So the strap's going to go around the right foot. Keep your left leg just as you'd like it to be. Relax your arms. And first, just noticing the hamstring. Point your toes toward your face, towards your nose. Begin to draw little tiny circles in one direction. And keep the foot flexed and pressing equally into the strap. So not pressing more with the outer foot or the inner arch, but just right straight through the middle of the foot. Change directions with your mini circles. Breathing. and then pause. Again, activating this back of the leg for an isometric contraction. So squeeze the quadricep, flex the foot, and start to press into the strap like you're trying to lower the leg. Don't let it go anywhere for 3, 2, 1, and then release, maybe pulling the strap a little closer to your body, only if your body lets you do that. Again, press into the strap for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release the effort. Take a breath. And now pressing again into the strap. Press, try to lower the leg for 3, 2, 1, and release. Bring that strap wherever it wants to be to come to your edge of your range of motion. Pausing there. Now coming into that inner thigh. Hold on to the straps with your right hand and bring the leg out to the side. Keep your other hand on your left frontal hip just to remind it to stay down as you open up the leg. Nice big belly breaths. Feel that belly expand with every inhale. Good, now bend the knee a little bit and bring your leg back up to center. Release your straps from your foot and hug your knees into your chest again. Good, we're gonna roll to the side and just come onto the belly. So bring your hands under your forehead and bend your knees and just crisscross the ankles back and forth. So this balances the brain and this brings nutrients to the hips. And then bring your feet back down. Tops of the feet are on the floor. Bring your hands behind you and the palms face down. Slide your shoulders down your back, engage your belly, squeeze your thighs, and lift your chest and head off the floor. Those hands will start to float up as well. Keep your neck long so you're looking down at your mat, not up and out, and not really down. So just like facing the mat, maybe a couple of inches out with your gaze. And breathe. Lift up as high as you can, and then lower down. Rest your cheek to one side. Okay, we're going to come back with our head to center, and this time when we engage the belly and lift the chest and head and arms, we're going to keep those there, and then we're going to lift the legs. So when you lift the legs, your inner thighs want to engage as well. So squeeze the legs together as you lift them up, and then start to flutter your legs like you've got flippers. And don't bend your knees. Keep your legs straight. And breathe. And breathe. Ooh, you're heating up your whole back body, strengthening the back. And lower everything down. You can rest your head on your hands. Good, so we're going to bring the hands now close to the rib cage so that we can press ourselves up and come into a child's pose. So engage the belly, press yourself up and back. You can have wide knees or narrow knees, it's totally up to you. And just rest here in child's pose. Taking a moment to feel the sanctity of this moment, that you are alive, that we're breathing, we're here, we're safe, we're free, we're taking good care of these temples of our souls. Go ahead and rock up onto all fours and thread the needle. So bring your left arm under your right arm, place the side of your head, the left side of your head on the floor, and reach that right arm overhead. And use this bottom arm that's on the floor, the shoulder and deltoid, and press into the floor and look underneath your left armpit, kind of gazing up if you can. Don't worry if you can't, it's okay. Just finding the stretch, finding what feels nourishing for you in this shape. Very good. Now go ahead and bring yourself back up to center and then take that second side. And then press yourself back up. Bring those wrists right under the shoulders and move through a couple of cat-cows. Breathing with each movement. Every time you round the back and come into that rainbow shape or the cat, really press the earth away from you. Press into the earth, spread the shoulder blades apart. And then allow yourself to be free with the movement. Maybe you'll wag your tail or shift your weight forward and back. Getting into the hips, whatever feels good. So we'll keep our hands right where they are, but extend the right leg out with the toes on the floor. So my toes are on the floor and I'm going to press back through my heel to get a little calf stretch here. So stretching the calf. If your wrists start to bother you, you can always come onto those knuckles. Now we're going to lift the right leg up, point the toes, and then bring the knee toward the nose and the nose toward that knee. Just a little rounding of the spine and activation of the core. And then extend. You can keep your hands on the floor, focusing on the movement of the leg and the breath. So keep the leg up and then start to bend the knee and bring it out to the side, like you're going to touch your shoulder with your knee. Good luck with that one. And then come back to square hips and then bend the knee and bring it to touch the elbow or the shoulder or as if. So you're going to feel your core working here. We're going to do one more, nice and slow. And then extend. Good, and release. Go ahead and sit back and shake out those wrists. And then we'll do the other side. So back in your tabletop posture, extend the left foot, left leg, and press into the floor with your toes and stretch the calf. Good, and now lift the leg, point the toes, and start to round the back, bringing nose to knee and knee to nose, hollowing out the core as you do so, and then inhale, extend. Exhale, activate the core, pull the belly button up and in. 2 more. Last one. Extending that leg, feeling and noticing that the hip bones, the frontal hip bones, are pointing straight down to the floor. You're going to notice as you're going to come back to that each time. So you're going to bend your knee, bring your leg out to the side, kind of like a fire hydrant, but then try to touch your knee to your elbow or act like you're going to come up to your shoulder, and then extend back out. Do this a couple of times. pulling the belly in. So we've got glutes working here, core working here, hips. Last time. Takes lots of control. Good. And then release. Good. Go ahead and sit back. Shake out those arms. If you're on your knees, go ahead and take your backs of your hands and place them on the floor next to you. So fingertips are pointing backward, and just lean in just a little bit to stretch out the forearms once again. Release the wrists. Good. And then shake it out. We're going to come to standing with our straps and our massage ball and blocks, everything right within your reach. Okay, standing in mountain pose. Those toes are pointed straight forward, shoulders are back and down. Rocking forward and back, finding your center. And then leaning from side to side and finding your center there. Good. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, hands to the heart. Again, inhale, reach, and then lean back a bit. Hands are together, and then exhale, hands to the heart. So it's a little back bend. I'll do it from the side. So you're going to inhale, reach up. Palms might come together. Lean back just a little bit, and then exhale, hands to your heart. We'll do that again. This time we'll go into a swan dive. Inhale, reaching up, reaching back just a little bit, and then exhale, open those arms, dive forward with a flat back, release everything. So knees can be bent if they need to be. It's not a problem. Release the weight of your head. Feel some traction in the neck as you release the weight. Relax your jaw. Breathe here in this forward fold. Good. Now start to look up and inhale and come up with a flat back, reaching out to the sides and up, and hands to your heart again. Good. Let your knees be soft, and we'll start to do our 3 thumps. So tapping under the collarbones. Nice big deep breaths to regulate our immune system. I want you to do this every single day. Do it in the shower. Do it while you have like a eucalyptus oil, maybe some drops in the bottom of the shower if that agrees with you. And then center of the chest, wake up that thymus. Sound, make some sound. Ah, beautiful. And then knock on your ribs. Wake up your spleen meridian. Tap and knock. Good. And then shake it out. Good. Now just keeping the legs nice and wide. Do some gentle twists. Tapping the chest and the lower back as you do so. Lifting up the heel as you turn. Just getting that chi, that energy flowing in the body. Was the season changes and it dropped like what, 15 degrees overnight? Hence the leg warmers. You'll probably see me in those forevermore until summer. All right, and then come to center. We're gonna rub our hands together until they get warm, and then bring them to the lower back and kidney area. So rub, rub, rub. If you can get them to warm up, at least bring some energy there. And then keep your knees soft and hold on to your lower back and just rub. Do a little rub and a little bounce. Soft bouncing of the knees. You could do it on the toes if you want. Good, and shake it out. All right. So we're going to take a warrior 1 pose. So step your right foot forward to start. The left foot is back, the leg is straight. Bend the front knee and reach your arms up and turn your pinkies toward each other. And I want you to imagine that you're holding something, holding a dream. Holding a dream. Hold it with the strength of your body, your lower body, your will, your focus. What is your dream? What is something that you want to make a reality for yourself in your life or in the world? Maybe it's not just for you. Breathe and hold it. Feel it in between your hands. Start to bring your hands toward your heart, nice and slow. And hold that dream in your heart. We're going to now step the back foot forward just a little bit, and the toes are going to point forward on both feet. Your blocks might be handy here. You can use them on either side of your legs, or you can just come down halfway. We're looking for a stretch in the back of the front leg. Start to hinge at your hip crease. Pulling the right hip back and the left hip forward, engaging the core. Come down as low as you can. Maybe to the floor, maybe to your shins, maybe to blocks. The back foot is flat on the floor if possible. And then bend the front knee just a little bit and press yourself up. Good. Come into a warrior one on the other side. So the left foot is forward and the knee is bent, and the heels may line up with each other. Maybe they'll line up with each other. If there's any twinges in your lower back, then you can heel toe the front foot out to the left a little bit to make more space in the lower back. You're going to reach your arms up, and don't think about bringing your hips forward. Think about rotating your waist and your belly button forward. Really actively bringing the energy into the arms from your heart, from your legs, into your hips, into your heart, into your arms, into your hands. Holding your dream. So to bring that dream, bring it down, this time into the belly, and breathe. Good. We're going to step the back foot up just a little bit. Square your hips. That front leg now is straight. We're going to hinge at the hip crease and get into that hamstring, which should be ready for this stretch since we did all the warm-ups. But listen to your body. Only go as far as you know you can, as most is what your body feels you can do. Coming to whatever your level is today. Shifting the left hip back a little bit and the right hip forward to square the hips, pull the belly in. One more breath here. And then bend the front knee a little bit, press into your front foot and lift yourself up. Good, shake that out. We are going to use our straps to open up the chest. Bring your straps overhead. Palms can face forward. And just start to bring the straps behind you and breathe in. Looking for straight arms here. So the arms should be straight the whole time if possible. You may not go all the way back and down. You might stop at some point and feel that that's a good stretch. Once you feel that stretch, then you can come forward again. Inhale, reaching up and back. And exhale, down. Getting some range of motion. One more time. Good, release. And relax your shoulders and tilt your left ear to your left shoulder and breathe here. Tilt your chin up a little bit, like you're tipping water out of the left ear. Good, roll your chin toward your chest. Bring that right ear over the right shoulder. Pause and breathe. And then tip water out of that right ear and breathe. And roll your chin toward your chest again and pause as you look down, breathing into the back of the neck. Good. Okay, let's do a little foot massage. So bring the ball under the right foot and just iron out any sore spots. Pausing any place that feels tender, breathing into that, imagining that the muscles and the fascia in the bottom of the foot could just start to melt and soften over the ball. Imagine that your foot is like an ice cube and the ball is warm. It's a warm thing that just helps to melt the foot. Good, let's change sides. First, passing through the whole foot like you're ironing it out. And then finding a spot that you might want to pause and give some extra time and breath to allow that foot to melt over the ball. Good. All right, we're going to move that ball off to the side. Turn your toes under of one foot and just stretch the top of your foot. Do some ankle rotations. And then stretch the top of the other foot, just pressing down gently over the top. Maybe moving the ankle from side to side. And lift the foot and do some ankle rotations. Good. Okay, so this could be a little challenging for balance. So if you need a chair, please feel free to grab one or use a wall or anything that's stable, that's not moving. We're gonna work on, we'll build up to it. So we're gonna stand on our left leg and we're gonna just lift our right knee, pull the belly in. So just like a stork pose. So these hips are warmed up from our exercises on the floor. So we're keeping this stork pose. You can bring your arms out to the sides if you'd like. So if you're able to, if you have the room to reach back and grab your hands, clasp your hands and open up your chest while you're in this, go for it. And it's 100,000% fine to lose your balance. It means nothing about your character. Good, and then lower down. We're going to do the other side now. So that right foot is facing exactly forward. You're squeezing the right thigh and you're lifting the left knee using your hip flexors. Finding your balance, your arms can be out to the sides for balance. And if you want the extra challenge, You can try to reach back and hold onto your arms, or your clasp your hands, or even opposite elbows, just opening up the chest and heart as you lift the left knee and breathe. Very nice. Good. And then lower down. Open up your legs, do some really big hip circles. Okay, the next thing we'll try to do is bend the knees, coming into a chair, a little bit of a chair pose. Not a deep, deep one, just a little shallow chair pose. Now either you're going to cross your ankle over your knee if possible. If your hips aren't feeling that, that's okay. You're either going to come into this figure 4 pose in a chair version by bending the knees and coming down, shoulders over the hips. Or if that's not available to you, you're still going to stand, lift your leg, and bring it out to the side, like a little bit of a tree pose, but your foot's not touching your leg. You're actually just bringing it out to the side and holding it there. One is going to work the inner thighs a little more. One's going to work the outer thigh. Both work balance. So looking at something that's not moving is really helpful. Breathe. Choose what you want to do with your arms. Usually when the arms are out, it helps balance. One more breath wherever you are. Good, and come on up. Shake it out. Are you getting warm? Is this building heat in your body? It's building heat in my body. Okay, so little mini chair pose, maybe crossing the left ankle over the right knee, sitting down a little bit more deeply into this pose, doing what you want with your arms, or you're gonna lift the knee, bring it out to the side, and just hold it there. Choose your pose, whatever you choose. Just keep breathing, focusing on something that is still. Beautiful. Good effort, everybody. One more breath, and come on out. Wonderful. We're going to do standing twists to let that go. Wonderful. Okay. Open up your legs nice and wide. We're taking our wide-legged forward fold. Your blocks can be nearby if you feel like you're going to need them. We're going to hinge forward, finding your halfway point. So your back is flat. Make sure that your toes are facing forward, maybe even a little bit pigeon-toed. And then start to come all the way down. The weight might come a little more toward your toes, but you're still connected to the floor with your heels. So a couple of variations depending on what you feel like you need today. You could reach your arms out in front of you. It's kind of like a modified downward dog. So those hips reach back, the arms reach forward, the ears kind of being hugged by your upper arms. There's one version. You could take a twist if you want by leaving, let's say leaving the right arm there and then taking the left hand and reaching across for your right shin or ankle and taking a little twist. Or you can just be in that forward fold enjoying the inversion. If you did choose the twist, go ahead and change over to the other side. And then if you twisted, go ahead and release that. And then everybody, see if you can walk your hands back behind you so that your palms are still on the floor and your fingertips are lined up with the toes or even with the middle of the arch of your feet. And use that connection with the mat to kind of pull you through. This won't be available to some of us, depending on hamstring flexibility. It's totally fine, just an option. One more deep breath in this forward fold. And then we'll start to walk our hands back underneath us, right under the head. Heel toe your feet together. And start to come up. Good. So we've got this wide stance. The only thing we're going to do differently is turn the toes out so that we can come into a little bit of a squat, into a hara squat pose. So bring those arms up, goddess pose. Knees are bent. Open up the heart and chest. Squeeze the tips of your shoulder blades together. Palms are nice and open. We'll cultivate some energy here by inhaling as we reach up, and then exhaling as we tap those ribs with our elbows. Go at your own pace. A few more. Last one. Good. Palms are up. Knees are soft. Taking a moment to feel that energy that you cultivated through the breath work. Feeling right in your hands that you have everything you need. You're born with everything you have ever needed and will ever need to bring your dreams to a reality, to bring your dreams to fruition. And they don't have to be big dreams like someone else's dreams. They can be simple dreams that are important to you. Everything you'll ever need right here. Bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Start to walk your feet toward each other and just take a moment to stand here in your power, in your capacity. Good, let's come on down to the floor. We'll move right into, if you like pigeon pose, you can take a pigeon pose here, but we'll move right into our hip opener. On your back, knees bent. Bring your right ankle over your left knee. This is a little easier than the standing version, right? So let's enjoy that release and that relief. And maybe you'll hold on to the back of that left thigh. Pressing the right knee away from you if you're in a modified version of this pigeon type stretch. Go ahead and let go of this side and change. Relaxing the jaw. Couple more breaths here. Go ahead and release this now and bring both feet to the floor with your knees bent. Lift your hips off the floor a couple of inches and just slide them over to the left and place them back down. And then take your knees over to the right. So we're just creating a little less twist or torque in the lower back. If it's not enough for your lower back and you want more of a twist, you can always cross the top leg over the bottom leg and then twist to create a little more challenge on that side. Breathe and release. You're going to lift that top knee first, followed by the bottom knee, and then lift your hips and scoot them over to the right a few inches and place them back down, and then let your knees go to the left. Maybe you'll gaze over that right shoulder. Soft, deep breaths. Sending blessings to the gardeners. I'm grateful that they have job security because there's never a time that they're not blowing something. Good. Go ahead and bring that top knee followed by the bottom knee. Straighten out those hips. Take any last stretches that your body needs. If you want to bring your legs up for a couple of breaths, you can, or you can take any last stretches that you need. And then finally, when you're ready, settling into your Shavasana pose, letting go of all of your efforts. When you hear the sound of the bell, let that invite you to begin to find stillness and deep rest. Focusing on the exhale as you let go. Letting a warm wave of relaxation wash over the top of your head and face, down through your neck and shoulders, your arms, your hands, your fingers, and feeling that warm, soft wave washing over your chest and through your back. And let the warm, soft wave travel through your hips now and down through your legs. Down through the soles and tops of your feet and into your toes. Just one big warm wave of relaxation and deep peace. My dear friend, may he rest in peace, was a reverend of a Unitarian church, and he wrote this little booklet, and I'm going to read a piece from it. It's called Riding on the End of a Light Beam. All of us have dreams, some big and some small, but for a variety of reasons, all too often, we give up on them. So invite a miracle. Today, be a dreamer. Go for it. Reach your highest visions and hopes with only the sky as the limit. Life is all about possibility. When asked how he was able to conceive of the theory of relativity, Einstein said it came from his ability to dream. He said he visualized what it would be like to ride on the end of a light beam. What's at the end of your light beam? Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. Bring your hand to your belly and a hand to your heart. Taking a moment to acknowledge all that you have within you, to realize your dreams, to take action on your dreams, to make the seemingly impossible possible. And when you're ready, take a moment to roll to your side and take a few breaths there before you rise up with hands at your heart. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings have peace. May we all be allowed to dream. May it be so. Kenya Hiratson. Shalom.